Hello, welcome to the Masterclass section of our Subtype video training series, where we are looking at the three different varieties of what it means to be a two, the strategic helper. So, with the self-preservation two, the counter type, actually, in this case, as we remember for all of the heart types, the counter type is always self-preservation. This counter type runs counter in this way of being me first privilege. They feel like they deserve your esteem and care because of all they have given. Ultimately, that's why we call them the strategic helper, because they don't always necessarily just want to help. They're helping to get their needs met. Maybe you'll approve of them, make them feel more important in some way. They do get this subtype, and if this is you, perhaps as you're exploring possibilities, this type gets caught up in the patterns of helping intensely and then maybe breaking down into like helplessness, or I'm taking my ball and going home because you're not actually recognizing what I'm doing for you, or and I'm exhausted from my efforts, or I'll show you just how much you have come to rely on me by how it feels when I've retreated. They're supportive and giving to those in their smaller orbit, but interestingly enough about this type is this subtype of twos is they can also be demanding. In some cases with self-preservation twos, they will almost have this childlike appearance. Like they can be the cutest of the twos or the most kid-like. And with all twos, with the focus on image, and there's this focus on, I can get you to like me. So just remember there is that going on. And yet this self-preservation too, besides giving, can also be demanding because of this idea of like, I deserve for you to meet some of my maybe material needs in terms of the self-preservation instinct. The social two, whose subtype name is ambition. You don't necessarily think of a strategic helper as being ambition. So this one's interesting. The social two often really, really looks three-ish, social three in particular. And they want to be important in other people's eyes, like all twos do. But this is like with that social focus. So they'll be relied on, they will be recognized. They like to be seen next to important people to assure their status in the group, basically. They are, because they can be a very hardworking subtype of the Enneagram, and they can be known for their accomplishments as well. They do all the things that twos do, but when you combine the intensity of the ways that they will help and the strategy, and you combine that with the social dimension, these twos. Finally, the sexual one-to-one is called aggressive seduction. We've heard them also called the femme fatale or even a blonde bombshell. There's sometimes a doubling down on being two because there is this real directive. I can make you like me and we can connect. And they do tend to be really good at doing this. So they have a strong confidence in their ability to leverage these relationships, influence others. And because of the operating passion of pride, they can be pretty strong, pretty forceful in the way that they give advice, because they might know better what you need than you need. This is what they do all the time. They're thinking of what other people need before they even know what their own needs are. Because of that intensity, they will maybe love real hard, and then emotionally they will fall real hard. A very sensitive type, the twos on the Enneagram, but this is the mixed through the filter of the intensity of the sexual one-to-one instinct. It's more like, I'm going to meet your needs, and it's going to be pretty clear that I have that expectation that you'll meet mine. So I hope that this helps clarify a little bit more of an understanding of the different varieties and possibilities of what it means to be a two. Don't forget that you can always go deeper into reading at any parts of your shock point, Enneagram and stress copy, maybe some other materials that we've provided you as well in our coaching sessions. We look forward to answering your questions as well as exploring some of these different territories in your own coaching soon.